Hey there, Soul Fam Collective. It is Thursday, September 2nd, and this is our first ever reading review. So we talked about it today in the live stream. We talk about a lot in our live streams, and there's a lot I'd love sharing more information on or touching base with, but just honestly feeling the overwhelming pressure about producing, editing, writing, completing all these videos gets a little bit overwhelming. So it came to me in meditation, like I said in live stream, about doing a quick review after our card readings together so that I can talk a little bit more about things that we touch base on in the readings. Because what really got me this week, and I'll do this every Tuesday and Thursday, hopefully, if there's things to review. Hold on. And so what really got me this week is we have you guys know I have my lists, and I take notes of things at the bottom of things. And it was like talking about blessings take strength to accept. We had talked about using pendulums and pendulum maps. And today in lives, I'm going to do a new moon spell this weekend because we have a new moon on Monday. So here we are, our first little review session. So what I want to talk about with it, blessings take strength to accept. A lot of times when we've gone shifts, I'm just going to jump right into it. A lot of times when we go through shifts like that, when we're learning our self-worth, when we're learning about receiving gifts from the universe, remember we flipped our script from give and take to give and receive. I did those differently, but that's really the motions that go with it. Giving and receiving. And allowing that perception of receiving to allow more gifts and abundance to come to us. Now, it does take strength to accept blessings because, you know, miracles happen every day. We are so fortunate to be able to call upon the universe and allow these miracles into our lives. But for me personally, when I say it takes strength to receive these blessings, coming from childhood poverty or coming from being homeless to owning a home, that's a very overwhelming thing. Like, that was one of my goals. But it was also very overwhelming. Like, oh my goodness, that's a great achievement we've achieved. But having the strength to do what it takes in order to achieve that, in those baby steps, I had to move provinces. You know, so there were things like that happen in the process of receiving blessings. When we are not accustomed to having gifts bestowed upon us, whether it be material, financial, or emotional, coming at us from different aspects, from people, from situations, and from the universe. When we're not used to that, that's overwhelming. And it takes strength to graciously say thank you. I recognize my worth in this exchange. Thank you. I open myself to the universe to be open to receive and give more gifts. Thank you. I graciously accept this without having the train of thought in the back of the head, but I really don't deserve it. Or, no, you shouldn't have. Or, oh my God, I don't deserve this because of whatever reason, excuse, or boundary we've inflicted upon ourselves. So it does take strength to accept blessings. And on that aspect of things too, like when we're having a little bit of hard time with that, I say call on the Queen of Wands. She's just so radiant and beautiful, and she's proud of things, and she's a good achiever, and she's kind and nice. She has a flip side, as we all do, as all the court cards do. But calling on the confidence of the Queen of Wands right in there really helps me see my worth in situations like that, and I hope that it'll help you see your worth as well. So blessings take strength to accept. We talked about that on Tuesday. Another thing we talked about on Tuesday was pendulum mapping. So before we get off this topic, one last thing, little message here is just being open and thanking everything as it comes along. Thank you for this beautiful blessing. Thank you for this beautiful day. Thank you for this beautiful item. Thank you for this thought that I can share. Thank you for this communication. Thanking people in person. Hey, thanks for showing up today. You know, like things like that. Give us more strength to be able to receive more. And it's normal. Miracles are normal. So once we make it a normal part of our life, it happens more normally. Find people you can talk about it in a normal sense with, not people that are like, oh, rah, and they'll but the excitement down. Talk to people about this that can see it with you, you know, because it does take strength to receive blessings. All right. Blessings. Next topic is pendulum maps. All right, so here we go. I'm going to timestamp this. 550 pendulum maps. I'm going to start this off by saying you can do a pendulum. You do not need to be any sort of trained. You do not need to be psychic. You do not need to be anything like that. We are all made up of energy. We can extend that energy through inanimate objects. We can, when you touch another person's hand, you can feel the hot or cold of their hand. That is an energy exchange. It's just temperature exchange you can feel. So anybody can do this. All right. And I mean, with anything, this is my personal pendulum. This is my hematite pendulum. I love it. I've been using it for many, many years. I have added a little loop on the top of it to make it easier to hold on to, or so that I can loop it onto things so I can use it. So that being said, on Tuesday, when I did the pendulum mapping, I took my necklace off. So, you know, there's a lot of people that'll tell you it has to be special. It has to be something that you've connected with. BS. No. I took my necklace off because it was convenient. It was right there. You know, I have used things that have a little bit of weight in them. This is like a string of beads. Mardi Gras beads. Right? I can use these as a pendulum. It has some weight to it. What you want is something that has some weight to it, and you're going to be able to feel it or control it going around and around and up and down. I've got a keychain here. A little laser pet keychain here. You can hold any keychain. This one I picked because it points down, right? You can pick anything as long as you can make it move freely like this. You can get answers from it. I have a piece of yarn here from my yarn collection, all right? So what you can do with this, excuse me, I happen to have a shiny disco ball Christmas decoration there. Yule decoration, whatever. As long as it has some weight on the bottom of it, so it's not just floating there. It can't be, this is kind of loose is what I'm getting at. So I would either tie it at the bottom or look at just tie it in a knot up here so I have something to hold it by. There's a pendulum. All right. You can literally use anything you want as a pendulum. All right? Anything. What happens here, where the magic happens, is the extended energy. It's the belief in asking for something bigger and being prepared to receive it and having a tool to receive it through. Anything. The intent that you put behind things, and I talk about intent in our spells, I talk about intent in our lives. The intent that you put behind it is what's going to give you your results. So I'm not going to use my regular pendulum today that I do readings with, that I ask questions with. I have used this pendulum so many times in pendulum maps, it knows its job. So we're going to walk through making a pendulum map. I am looking for something in my house. So I'm going to draw a floor plan of my house. All right, if you're looking for something wherever. So my house, I've got a doorway over there and I've got a doorway here. It is in my kitchen because I've got stairs that come up here. So here's a floor plan of my kitchen. And I've got a box over here. I've got a stove here. And I'm doing a very, very rough outline, but accurate. The key thing here is accurate. Even if you, fridge, I've got a window. I'll show you this in just one sec as soon as I get it done. I've got the bookshelves with specific shelves. I've got my altar. I've got a table and chairs. And then behind that altar, I've got another little shelf with appliances. Appliance shelf. I've got my basement door here. Basement. I've got upstairs. And I've got the garbage. Okay. Am I missing anything? No. Fridge, window. I've got a toaster. I've got a coffee maker. Alright, here's my door. This is a floor plan to my house. To my kitchen. What I'm looking for is in my kitchen. So literally I have drawn a floor plan of my kitchen. There's the door. I've got things, where am I pointing at here? Oh, that's where my stove is, my counter, kitchen sink. In that other side, I've got a toaster and coffee maker, a window, a fridge, a window, a big bookshelf. And I've got 3 shelves on that bookshelf. But do you see I did 1, 2, 3. I've got my upstairs and I've got my basement door here. All right. So if you lost something in your house, then you just make a floor plan of your house. If it's, when you're just starting out, to use a whole piece of paper. I'm sorry, I just made this small. Use a whole piece of paper, you know, or if you have other rooms in your house that you've lost your thing in, like draw your bedroom and then the floor plan of your bedroom. The reason that it's important to put your floor plan in there is because when you're holding your pendulum, it will go to the area that your lost thing is in when you ask it. And that way, you know, it will swing back and forth, or it'll swing in a circle. I'll show you what I do with my intent. I ask for things to be pointed at. So there's a directional way that it'll go harder. It'll go that way and it'll swing back versus like an actual pendulum back and forth. Okay? So it'll pull in the direction of where your lost item is. And then, you know, you can hone in on that part of the room. If it's a full page, you can hone in on that part of the room a lot easier. Like, honestly, I have found an item that fell into a group of shelves, but I didn't know on what tier it was at. And it was like those mesh wire shelves. I didn't know what tier it was at or which block it was in. So I did a map of, I just drew it out. I did a map of what it was, and I held my pendulum over it, and it kept going directly to the second block down, the third thing. And it was in between like a couple of shirts that I had folded in there. Not like down the side of it, but in between the shirts. So my pendulum was very specific and told me about that. So let's have some fun here and play. I'm going to use my shiny disco ball. And in my in my kitchen, I'm going to look for my office door. My office door is very obvious to me, and I did not write it on here. My office door is right here. Office door. So if you were looking, my office door is very close to me. Boom. So I am looking for my office door. And when I have my pendulum here, I'm like, this is my pendulum. I am going to find my lost item with my pendulum. And I hold it with both hands and do whatever feels appropriate for you to intend it. I am using this pendulum to find my office door. I need to find something better. I'm using this pendulum to find my Twinkie pan. I have a pan for making Twinkies. So I'm going to use this my pendulum to find my Twinkie pan. Can you please locate my Twinkie pan in the kitchen? So then you ask your pendulum to find your item. Can you please locate my inside here? Show me where to look closer. Whatever it is that you're looking for. And make something up. Try it. My Twinkie pan happens to be by my office door. I know where it is. So I'm going to hold this. Now that it has its intention, I'm going to have my faith. I'm going to pinch it in my 2 fingers like this. See? Boop, 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 boop. And my belief that, you know what? Even if you don't believe it, just know that it has a job to do and it will help guide you to where it needs to be. So you take your pendulum and you put it over the middle of your map. You let it drop right onto the page. Okay, I'm sorry this is not... Here, let me get this. There we go. So you get your pendulum and you drop it into the middle of your page. And you're like, I am using this pendulum to help me locate my Twinkie pan. Please show me in the right direction. And then you just lift it up. The reason I touch is because, you know, like you can get caught up in the moment with your hand or with where you wish it would be. But what you really need to do is just kind of close your eyes and not pay attention. And you're going to feel a little bit of movement coming in with the pendulum. Excuse me, as it helps me find my Twinkie pan. Pendulum, please help me find my Twinkie pan. Pendulum, please point out where my Twinkie pan is. Because we both know it's not lost. So also being honest with your pendulum is a very, very big thing. Pendulum, can you please just point out for the group where my Twinkie pan is? Thank you. So you should start feeling some movement. And, you know, for very beginners, you see that movement here. It is going towards, it's pulling towards me harder than it's going that way in its line. Okay, let me show you what I mean by harder. That was to show you that it would work with anything. Here's my pendulum. Alright, dude, we're looking for the Twinkie pan. Point it out. So what it's going to do is very, very, very responsive. It knows its job. So you can see it coming towards me a whole lot more than it is going towards you in the design of the map. So it's kind of going back to the middle point and not going any further. Thank you. That's exactly where it is. Good job. Alright, do it big. Go big, go big, go big. Do a big one. Show the camera, show the camera. Alright, so you see how it's really hard? It's coming to that corner here, but it's not really going to the other corner. That's, oops, that's a magnetic force just kind of pulling it over in this direction here. Alright, pendulum. Go to my bookshelf. My bookshelf happens to be in the opposite corner. Go to my bookshelf. Thank you. So now it's taken on a more taunt feeling in the chain, and it's kind of leaning towards you guys more on the camera and coming to the middle rather than coming all the way across in a swing. Okay, do you see that? I don't know. Pendulum, stop. Pendulum, go to my stove. Let's see if we can do this sideways. Go to my stove. Stove, stove, stove. So right here is the middle. No, go to the stove. And my stove is on this side. Okay, stove, stove, stove. Stairs, stairs, stairs. Upstairs, go upstairs. Upstairs is on this side. Okay, upstairs for upstairs tall. It's trying to go to my basement stairs too. Upstairs. Okay, what else is on that wall? Hot crocheted peppers. Go to the hot crocheted peppers. Crocheted hot peppers. There we go. So this is my pendulum. Like I said, I've used it for many, 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 many moons. It's very responsive to me and it becomes very accurate. So really, you watch, yeah, I'm making it swing big now. Watch where it's swinging to. You can feel where it's pulling in directions. And if you draw a map of anything, it really, you get better at practicing. You hone in better. All right, here's my pet one. Where's my cat foods? Little movement, little movement. Yep, that's where the cat foods is. The more you play, the better you get at it. And being able to use things. They just have to be able to swing freely. Oh my gosh, we've been doing this for 20 minutes now. I get so lost in time. All right, so there's the breakdown of our readings this week. I could do this all day. I love playing with my pendulum. I have a banana hook, a banana hanger, where I hang this from. Making sure it's all even, where I hang this from, and I'll play pendulum in between my hands, see where the energy bounces around that way, practice going in a circle, practice going back and forth and in different directions. But yeah, that's just making a pendulum map and using it. You can do this. You don't need any special training. You just have to trust your instinct. All right. That is our live stream and review. This is our first ever video doing this, so please, please let me know what you think. What's your takeaway from this in the comments? Is this something that we should do after all our live streams to kind of touch base? I've got a brand new book starting for this month, to touch base on what we talk about and to kind of go a little bit more detailed. All right, you guys, I love you. Let me know what you think. I'm excited about this. I'll put the live stream playlist up here so that we can get that video, the one that we did, the live stream for the day of this review, and then simple spells for the home. Why not? I love you guys. I hope to see you in the membership side of things and become Char Stars, private lives, and pick-a-piles. I love you guys. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you next week for our live streams. Mwah!